Anthony Albanese has gone straight from the messy democratic victory at home to the pointy end of global efforts to preserve democracies and push back against autocratic dictatorships. Yesterday, the Prime Minister was sworn in. Today, he was at the Leaders' Summit in Tokyo with the Prime Ministers of Japan and India and the US President.
Prime Minister Albanese, I welcome you to your first Quad meeting. Like I said, you got on a plane, you were sworn in, got in a plane, and if you fall asleep while you're here, it's okay. Because I don't know how you're doing it, but it's really quite extraordinary. Just getting off the campaign trail as well.
Albanese's opening statement made clear that there would be continuity in Australia's foreign policy. And after China's security deal with Solomon Islands, a strengthened focus on our Pacific engagement.
We will bring more energy and more resources to securing our region as we enter a new and more complex phase in the Pacific's strategic environment. And we will continue to stand with you, our like-minded friends. And collectively, we will continue to stand up for each other.
While the Quad is overtly directed at China, the three great democracies of the Indo-Pacific uniting on security issues as a bulwark against the communist superpower, Joe Biden did not ignore Russia and the invasion of Ukraine, even though India has been soft on Ukraine because of its military ties to Russia. The US President reinforced the need to stand up against autocracies.
Shortly before Russia launched its invasion, my administration published our Indo-Pacific strategy to advance a free, open, connected, secure, and resilient Indo-Pacific. Russia's assault on Ukraine only heightens the importance of those goals. The fundamental principles of international order, territorial integrity and sovereignty, international law, human rights must always be defended, regardless of where they're violated in the world.
Regardless of where they are violated in the world. Let's hope he sticks to that because it's crucially important. This is the fundamental contest of our age, democracy versus autocracy. Our democracy is everything to us. You know that. It's our freedom, it's our prosperity, it's our openness, our tolerance, and it's our opportunity. And as votes continue to be counted today, we're still going through our peaceful change of government, which is the very pinnacle of democracy in action. But there are risks. And if we take democracy for granted, if we indulge ourselves by pretending all this is inevitable and never under threat, then we put it all in peril. We know the coalition has been strong on national security and standing up to China, as well as other autocracies. We now have an incoming Labor government, a new Labor government, promising to continue that approach, a bipartisan strength on defence and foreign affairs. Let's hope that remains the case. But what about the Greens, the minor parties, and the fake independents? Where do they stand on these issues? What if they have influence over the government in the lower house or through the Senate, now or in the future? Well, the Greens oppose our AUKUS agreement with the US and the UK. They oppose our nuclear-powered submarines deal, and they say that it's Australia and its allies that are being aggressive.
But is the answer for Australia as a middle power to now buy nuclear-powered submarines that are designed, I mean, specifically, and the government has been clear about this, one of the purposes of them is for them to be able to travel at longer ranges outside of Australian territorial waters, so it's no longer about the defence of Australia.
But isn't the alternative with China's attitude to leave ourselves vulnerable?
Zones. But no, but this isn't about defence. This is now potentially pivoting towards an aggressive strategy, a more aggression-based strategy.
Imagine how pleased the communist government in Beijing would have been to hear those words in Australia. And what about the fake independents? The Chinese Communist government would have been cheering their words too. While China sanctions Australia, tries to inflict economic harm on us, Monique Ryan blames Australia.
I think that our relationship with China has been handled badly by the current government. China is our biggest trade partner, And the relationship with our biggest trade partner should be treated with respect and sensitivity, not with macho, breast-beating belligerence. We've seen how much that has cost us. And it's been actively unhelpful to weaponise our relationship with China for really local, domestic political aims.
She's now in Parliament. She's a fake independent in Parliament, Monique Ryan, running the China line, running the Beijing line. And when I spoke to Allegra Spender during the campaign, she praised the country that is by far the largest greenhouse gas emitter on the planet, accounting for almost a third of all emissions.
China has put in last year, in 1 year, put in more offshore wind than the whole world put together in the last 5 years.
Yep. Just the growth in China's emissions last year was the same as Australia's total emissions. Yet Allegra Spender praises China and condemns us. So there it is. That's the weak underbelly of democracy laid bare. The Greens, the teals, they are thrown up by our democracy, by our freedom, which is defended, of course, by our defence and foreign policy. But from within our democracy, they undermine it. They are, in the classic term often attributed to Vladimir Lenin, useful idiots, making arguments in Australia that suit our rivals, that suit China. To preserve your democracy, you need to be prepared to defend it. There can be no doubt that as we face historic economic and strategic challenges in the coming years, this new Parliament has made the task harder. The major parties have a clear understanding of these issues and the need to defend what we have in this country. But a fragile Labor government dependent on the Greens in the Senate and possibly trying to indulge the Teals and the Greens in the lower house will need to strongly resist this constant push towards strategic weakness, towards weakening our US alliance and towards appeasing a belligerent, autocratic China.